Hi, everyone. Good morning. Thanks for joining us on this lovely day. I'm Amanda, the program director here at the Senior Center, and to have a lovely trip through Italian culture for a little while this morning with Miss Anna. Sorry we were a little late. We were talking about the stress going on right now in our country, and we just pray that you find a positive way to realize that it's all normal. This is our last week streaming live on YouTube. Next week, we are going to start live classes, interactive classes on Zoom. So if you would like to join on a live, please call the Senior Center at 877-5131 or go to our website, milfordctseniorcenter.com, and you'll see how you can register. Send me an email and we'll get you logged in so you can interact and socialize and connect with people in person during these next few cold winter months. So enjoy. Take care.
Thank you, grazie. That is a wonderful way to travel within your favorite chairs, your favorite room, your favorite cup of tea, and everything. So now we are by ourselves. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the mask is out. We put it back for later times, and let's start. Okay, let's organize all my big hair. It's nice and not so warm over here. It's good. Buongiorno. Thank you so much for being together. I don't see you, but I can feel you. I hope there is a little group of our old, beautiful, older for timings, but we're never old, group that follows. We work together for so long. I hope we can regroup that wonderful moment so we can be together again. So where are we going to go? I come here. I do have I want to find out as much as possible because I have one. I always tell you I have one desire. The desire is always I want to know that whatever we're doing today is not just because of today, but it's because as the foundations, our way of believing, our traditions, our food, our dreams, our whatever, okay? Whatever we do, everything has a foundation from the past. I don't want to go through life thinking, oh, this is the style of the now, that's it. This is the style of the moment. We found it, and this and that. Everything comes because our ancestor already thought about how to overcome, what to do, the best way for the future generation, which is us right now. So, buongiorno a tutti, and the conversation today goes the 6th, which was yesterday. It is a big day into Italian traditions, more for Christians, is the day that we call it of the Epiphany, l'Epifania. Epiphany is a Greek name which means manifestation. And for us, for the Christians, is the manifestation of Jesus through the world, you can say. Because the celebration is 3 kings, which basically have the image of, you can say, the power of the world, recognized and they found the baby Jesus in the little barn, and they bring the 3 famous gifts. So, from a religious point of view, is a presentation, okay, of this new form of faith of believers, right? For believers. Naturally, the people over the century could not really follow directly in the very this unique form, this the kind of religious form, right? So they start elaborating. I mean, everything has to have you have the picture in the center, but then you have a little frame around, which is the colorful, little container of the colors inside, within, right? So the people start making those frames, this very coloring story around this moment of the Epiphany. And the legend that came out this from for this religious moment, it was the legend of La Befana. La Befana is, for us in Italy, is a very old lady. Is not really Mrs. Universe because the nose probably, I have a Roman nose too. But she had a bigger nose, and she had here il mento, this one over here, il mento very brute, with the point, and she was traveling with the broom, even though she looks as a strega, she is not a strega. She is very a peaceful old woman because the legend goes that the three kings, one day when they were going to follow the star and they're searching for the baby Jesus. They knock at the door of this old lady, but the lady said, "Don't bother me. I'm too busy. I don't care. Whatever you're doing, do whatever you want. I'm too busy." And after she realized, "Oh no, I missed. I should have followed that." What she didn't do at that moment, she brings to the children gifts. Okay, and she travels in the broom, on the broom, and all the children are supposed to be prepared, supposed to be good, and supposed to prepare the sacks next to the fireplace. Okay, so it's not big containers and this. She goes inside each sack and she puts the oranges and the chestnuts and the candy. And if you're a boy, coal, but it's the sugar coal. Right? So they're all sweet because it's the grandma that comes and gives it to all this ends, all the festivity, and gives to the children what they desire the most, sweet. That is very interesting because this legend actually that surrounded, okay, the religious meaning of the 6th of January was already alive before Christianity. Because imagine the Romans, I always go back to the Romans, but during the 2000 years of preparation for that great empire, they made really so many traditions and doing things and building and rituals and whatever you want to call that we still continue today. So they believe that 12 days after Christmas, they didn't celebrate Christmas, but it was Sol Invictus, which means the celebration of the sun. Because it was a religion that believed that everything was coming from the power of the sun. Okay, it was a religion that came from the Middle East, right? And they celebrated that the 25th of December. That's why Christianity, after, put the birth of Jesus, because we don't know when Jesus was born, on the 25th. Okay? So, and we will go that into another. So the 12 days Ariana will fly all over the fields and blessing the fields. So there is already this kind of magic blessing that was already into the calendars, into the people's mind. So to continue what the Romans started, there was a discontinuation with La Befana. Even though Diana, the goddess from the Roman time, was quite a pretty nymph, La Befana was not really the same, but that's okay. She was still flying over and blessing times. Okay, she blessed the children. So now, strega, the word we call it strega. As I told you, is it good strega? In fact, there is a very famous book that I'm sure you know about. Every child read about that, and it's a beautiful presentation of this nonna. Otherwise, there is the wonderful care that all your parents, I'm sure, offer to everybody when they were coming to visit you from the south. It's delicious with 70 herbs, all right? Or otherwise, there is another image of, see, there's on one side the strega that they make the potions and they're kind of like that. But then there's those nice, different type of women that they're some very particular, but they're very nice. In fact, I discovered that the Hopi, there is an Indian, the Hopi group, tribe, that they believe that there is a strega, a spider grandmother, which is to be a little witch. That is a spider, is all in the ground, but because of her, everybody is being helped by the spider grandmother. So there is all the time these witches that goes around. They are good. And then so we call it La Befana Nonna. But guess what? The name Nonna again, where it comes from? It comes from Latin, which means in Latin is nutrition, the person that cares. But from that word, nonna, it came the word nurse. It came the word nun. Okay? All the nuns, because they take care of children. So there is a wonderful, wonderful rotation of emotions, of being around this legend of La Befana. And another thing is the most, okay, among Christians, the most remembered nonna is Nonna Anna, the mother of the Virgin Mary. Okay, isn't that interesting? In fact, the name Anna was the most, I'm sure every one of you in the family had from grandma, from an aunt, a sister that was named Cass, that was very, very, very common. Parentheses, I am named Anna, not so much because I didn't have a grandma. My grandma was Genevieve, but because my father first love, can I tell you? But there was always love, right? So I am Anna. So these beautiful stories, beautiful legend about La Befana, you can see they're very rich within an emotion. The emotion of giving and the emotion of loving. So the name Befana so comes from the feast of Epiphany, the manifestation of love. Nonna comes from, again, a Latin word and means the person that gives love, that helps. And it goes back into the Jewish, the Old Testament. So there was the mother of the Virgin Mary. So you see how everything is connected. Now, if we talk about grandma, we have to talk about what does grandma, the first, if she is taking care, how she does care. What is it, this wisdom of grandma? And the first things that comes into my mind, that I did my research, is that grandma is the person that encourages you, at least in the past, it was all the time. The first things when you want to see grandma at the house or a visit, what grandma said, put her arms, she puts her arm, yeah, on the hip and said, so, did you eat today? Okay, it was about eating, right? And preparing the food. I know we remember always There is remember Giovannino in our group, a wonderful, beautiful, beautiful little face, always so happy with a smile. And he was saying that every day, because parentheses, when you're part of the Italian group, you never disappear. Giovannino, he always said that before going home after school, he would go to Grandma's house because Grandma's house prepared, he was the favorite of Grandma, and Grandma would prepare something to eat for him. And he said he had to eat. And then he would go home and eat again. But he could never say to, no, I'm not hungry. He had to enjoy because that was the gift of Grandma. So grandma is the presence of grandma is all the time with suggestion for eating well. Eating well brings to something else that I was thinking. We always look at the Italy, okay, the traditions of Italy, and we're always thinking about food. So now what comes to everybody's mind is the way the Italians, okay, the traditions of the Italians to have a very great diet, which we call it the dieta mediterranea, right? The Mediterranean diet. But actually, the way the Italians over the century they ate, it was not really exactly what is presented today. I better put my hands down. I'm putting moving too much. The way it is being presented, okay, today. Because after there were many bad epidemics in Italy, right? And sometimes they presented that everybody was eating, you watch these movies, those big pieces of chicken, lamb, deer meat, and I mean, I don't know, with a pig, big time. Actually, the reality, the meat was not very used because it's used for in the fields for practical reasons. So you can see the diet of the word is not Italy, but the Italian area of the time, it was very simple. There was not too much meat, but it was more for vegetable. So there would be rice, potatoes, zuppa, milk, polenta, legumes, and all the vegetables that you could grow near the house. Because everything, remember, there was not stop and shop right for at least 2,000 years. The war were continuously done by the rich people that could care less about what the regular people went through. And so all these majority of people, the population, 99%, almost you can say, they were farmers. So they had to take care of themselves. So the animals could not be touched. In fact, the animals were so important that I know up to a few years ago, I mean, there was this woman, Antoinette, came from Italy, and the father, they had a barn, a Woodmont area there, and she said they had a horse to go from, West Haven to New Haven and this and that. And if the horse was sick or something, the father would sleep in the barn next to the horse. The animal were precious, okay? She said, Antoinette, that the animals were more important than the 8 children that they had, that the father had, and the wife, because it was a transportation, it was life. I mean, the cow, forget it. She was the princess of the family, right? And so the same was for thousands of years. So what they really care for food from themselves, it was the little garden that was Italian, like Donato, right? And Donato has a little garden outside his door. It's so precious. It's so beautiful, right? With all those little things that you can grow and you can use. You will never starve because you're going to have all those jars line up that can continue to give you life, not money, life. So all this started long, long time ago, many, many, many centuries ago. And this way of eating is still what is, in today's culture of Italy. And you know what? In those days, there was not the pasta that was important. Okay, pasta with the sauce in it. That was not important. It was more important all the legumes, the vegetables, the polenta, the just the that right instant, the vegetable that you can grow in back of your house. So one of these most important vegetables were always those vegetables that grow during the season. They were not looking for something totally coming from who knows from where. What the earth was saying, Mother Earth, produced for the season. One that was really considered since the beginning of time a super duper star of the vegetable of January, guess what was? That you can find so really cheap in Stop and Shop right in all food or whatever you want to go. Cabbage. Cabbage is so good for you because low calorie that again, yes, I repeat again, the Romans consider holy food. Imagine a little simple vegetable that doesn't cost you anything, really, it's really inexpensive. It was considered holy. And you know what? One day, my husband is Polish by now, you know. He was talking with his aunt, and she lived to be 99, okay? But she was a good marble, right? And she was saying when the kids were sick, they could not call the doctor. So they had to have remedies from home, right? And if you had a strep throat or whatever, something with your throat, they would put leaf of cabbage on your neck to absorb all the infection. She thought that that was a Polish tradition. Well, sad to say, at the time I didn't know. So I could not tell that was not a Polish tradition. It was a Roman traditions. Because if you had whatever you had, they will put over your body this cabbage leaf to extract all the infection. Even if you could not sleep, you get a cabbage with a little vinegar is better than any type of pill. Can you imagine? The Romans, again, before having a big banquet, will eat cabbage leaves so the alcohol will not make them drunk. I add. Okay. So the cab or the sailors, they were getting so many because during the Middle Ages, they forgot how important was the cabbage. They were sailing all over, the exploration time, they forgot. And they forgot how to bring the cabbage into those boats, right? So the people they were very sick until they discovered that by bringing cabbage, barrels of cabbages, all that disease was going to be completely stopped. So the cabbage. So just go out today and eat cabbage. It's very simple. And if you want to eliminate the smell, just put a little bit, a teaspoon of vinegar in the water, and so you don't have any more smell. And all the kind of gas you can say from the cabbage is going to be a lot less. So just use it. Whatever you like is good for you. But now another thing that grandma always, so there is the food, the cabbage, the turnip, the onion. Onion, it was so good. Imagine during the past, when you wanted to pay the rent, and if you didn't have the money, the cash, you can pay with onions. The onions were considered so important for your diet because they resemble, because they give it to them an importance, not just for the food, but even because those layers are so thin that they consider almost a message from your ancestors. There is always spiritual messages and practical messages. Isn't that interesting? So this is all this today. We talk about the figure of La Befana and why La Befana is called the Great Mother, and Grandma in Italian is Nonna, which Nonna means a person that cares. And a person that cares is being put at the beginning of January, because at the beginning of January, we have all those good resolutions, the good inside to have a better year, a better time. Right now, the times are a little confused, so we have to bring back within ourselves common sense, relax, have your mind clean, without judging, without being afraid, without being scared, without being upset. Okay, it's like these moments happened already long, long, long time ago, and all our ancestors are saying to us, "Nonna," okay, to have a good food and start looking for the future. But those nonna from the past, they left many, many, many pages. And I went and I searched into those old pages. And I put together something I wanted to know. These nonna from the past, long, long ago past, how were they encouraging their generation? Was the encouragement from this grandmother, was it different from today? Were they, you know, talking to their grandchildren in a different manner? We can see that today the grandmothers of today are different from the grandmother from the past. My grandmother, just if I think of my grandmother, which I love very much, but was a little different. She was dressed up in black, okay, and because just at 30 years old, she lost a husband. She lost three children to the Spanish flu. And so that was her commitment to remember. And because it was not just for herself, but that was the culture. If you had someone in the family died, you had to be black. So she respected the tradition and their own feeling. Then you can say she was a little robusta, okay, a little bit. But that's because when she was younger, she said, the smallest waist ever. She was very pretty. They, as I said, they want to eat vegetables. So they were very slim. When things, the meat start coming in, the body was not used to all this protein. And so she got a little robusta, you can say, right? And so from that, my grandmother, they were different because of the way they were dressed and this and that. Today, we don't dress in black. The grandmothers are very trying to be very, okay, like that, up to the moment. But the inside, the meaning of grandma, nonna, is always the same. So I found out, to my joy, what day, and I wrote that down because I really want to share with you the over the century, the grandmother always had this encouragement for the new generation. And you know what? They are just 11. I'm going to be fast, and I thought it's so interesting because times are not different. We think that today we go into a different world. We're not. It's the continuation of the past. And they were saying the first suggestion that all the grandmother from the beginning of time said to the grandchildren is, do Don't do to others what you don't like to do to you. Oh my gosh, so many times we heard this one because it's into the times, right? Number one. Number two, what you put out in the world will come back to you tenfold, good or bad. Or my daughter-in-law will say, the karma. You do good, it will come good. You do bad, it will come back bad. Or uh, keep integrity. Be in respect, integrity. Wow, we heard so many times that, right? Life will have his up and down, up and down, up and down, like my grandchild said, Sebastian, up and down, up and down. We all know about that too. Look now, okay? Then they will say, every day is an opportunity. Every day there is something new. So let's open up the eyes and let's looking into the opportunity of the day without thinking yesterday or for tomorrow, just today. Then, oh, this is beautiful. Love yourself and love the Lord God as yourself. There is a respect between the human world and the world up there. You don't remember, you don't know, you don't want to follow the world up there. It's still a respect for everything that surrounds you. Be yourself. That's so important. Not to follow what everybody said just because you want to copy everybody, you want to be somebody else. Just be yourself. I love this one. Family first. Respect of the why those Italian. Don't we love it when they will get together every Sunday and just be there and talk all together and grandpa and grandma, which is sometimes they were a little bit strong, a little bit this, but they wanted everybody around them. Number nine, take time. Take time to smell the roses. We've heard that. So these are very ancient suggestions, but they're still alive today. And then the number 10, they said, love everybody. Oh, I love that. I like that. And you know what? There is something, Donato. Do you remember the group, you guys, Donato and Anna? And Donato, I have such a huge respect for him because he said, I don't like everybody, but I respect everybody. Donato, you are a wise man. And then I had this one. I was driving yesterday and I thought, uh, they we don't remember the people that made a lot of money. I mean, we get and we said, oh my gosh, he's a big shot, he's a millionaire, he got so this and that. But then after a while, we don't remember the name. But we will remember always if the person was a good person. Look at all from saint, the church made them big, but they were just a regular people. And we remember them because they were just kind. They were not rich. I thank you for being together. And today, the reason of our being together is yes, as long as we respect and understand and love each other with the emotions of a nonna, from a nonna, the world will be in peace. That doesn't mean that we don't have to agree on everything we do or we say or the person could do. There could be a little disappointment, disappointings. That's just part of we're all different, and that is the most important things in life. Imagine if we were all the same, it would be so boring. Okay, but on top of that, we will overcome all our differences with a nonna's presence and wisdom and love. So this nonnas, all these characteristics today, they belong to this week because The legend had the personification of all these emotions into the image of La. So La Befana, this old institution of Nonna, is telling us, be good, because life, in all these ups and down moments, is so good. So, till next week, God bless you, enjoy the day, and as long as we are together, and next week we're going to chat. So prepare all your story because I want to hear that. Have a nice week, everybody. God bless you. Until next week. Ciao.